Boy gets pranked on prom night, but years later the tables turn. Over the last few years, the body positivity movement has gained widespread support not only in the United States, but across the world as well. This makes a lot of sense, particularly when looking at the pain that Anthony Bayer had to endure due to constant bullying because of his weight. But after one girl made his life a misery, Anthony took it upon himself to make a change, and in the end, he was the one who got the last laugh.
Before we begin, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification bell for more amazing videos.
Hailing from Gold Coast, Australia, Anthony struggled with food addiction throughout his teenage years. Due to a heavy fast food diet, Anthony weighed over 300 pounds and had to wear size 42 pants and 3XL shirts. But he wasn't just having a few Big Macs every now and then. Every morning, the young man would eat 2-foot-long meatball subs for breakfast and wash it all down with a large bottle of Coke. This was accompanied by a burger meal from KFC and Magnum ice cream bars for lunch, and finally, 2 pepperoni pizzas for dinner. Because of his weight, Anthony was taunted and teased by many of his classmates. To make matters worse, even some of Anthony's teachers would make subtle comments and get in on the jokes rather than stop the bullying. Yet even all this wasn't enough to stop Anthony from continuing along his unhealthy path. Rather than address the torment he was experiencing, Anthony decided to put up a wall around himself, blocking out all of the ridicule he was receiving. Unfortunately, this strategy wouldn't work, as the worst bullying was still to come. No matter how hard Anthony tried to ignore his tormentors, his feelings of loneliness and rejection only worsened over time. Now, in an exceptionally dark mental space, Anthony felt as if things could not possibly get worse. But unfortunately for the young man, they were about to. Most high schoolers view their prom as a defining moment of their high school experience. Anthony, however, didn't feel any excitement and considered skipping the event altogether. Yet as the young man felt the jubilant atmosphere in the school hallways, he couldn't help but think that, just maybe, prom wouldn't be so bad. As Anthony teetered on the fence, something entirely unexpected happened to him in math class. He was approached by a girl he had a crush on. That's when Anthony was struck with a bold but risky idea. While Anthony would normally never consider doing this, he decided to put himself out there by asking this girl to the prom. But before he could even get the words out, his crush asked him a question that left him speechless. Out of nowhere, she asked if he would go to the prom with her. Considering she was the girl every boy in school was after, Anthony immediately accepted her unlikely invitation. Sadly, things would not go so smoothly on the big night. As prom approached, Anthony knew he needed to look his best for his date. He got a fresh haircut, rented a fancy suit, and even went above and beyond by renting a limousine for the night to impress his beautiful date. Little did Anthony know what laid in store for him. As he saddled up to his date's door and rang the doorbell, Anthony discovered the nasty truth about what was really going on. Looking beautiful in her prom dress, the girl opened the door and burst into laughter, as did the group of teenagers behind her. Moments later, the mockery started, and a devastated Anthony rushed home. This marked the turning point of his life. The next few days proved exceptionally difficult for Anthony. Not only had the teasing reached its peak, but his date's words kept playing in his mind. "Sorry, you're too fat to fit through the door," she mercilessly ridiculed. Surely Anthony had to take action to get his life back on track. Yet after facing all of his laughing schoolmates on Monday, Anthony turned to food once again as a source of comfort as he spiraled into a deep depression. This sadness continued to follow Anthony for years, even after his high school graduation, until one day he decided to turn his life around. During a doctor's visit, Anthony was forced to face an alarming truth. He was on the verge of developing diabetes. As Anthony broke down in tears, he realized that he could no longer afford to live such an unhealthy lifestyle. But how could he undo all the damage he had done to his body so much later in life? Following his shocking revelation, Anthony finally felt motivated to spring into action. While still self-conscious about his weight, he decided to try out his local gym. Regardless of what anyone thought of him, Anthony knew that his future lay in his own hands. Despite being out of his comfort zone, Anthony persevered with his gym workouts. Knowing that he was finally on the right track, the anxious young man started to see some significant results. Yet there was still one issue he needed to address: his unhealthy diet. While Anthony's workouts began producing real results, that was just half the battle. He also needed to kick his unhealthy fast food addiction. He decided to improve his cooking skills, thereby giving himself the ability to make hearty, nutritious meals on a daily basis. But these were still just the early stages of his transformation. After many tough days, Anthony had completely replaced the KFC and pepperoni pizzas in his diet with grilled chicken, vegetables, oats, and green tea. That, together with many hours of gut-busting gym workouts, helped Anthony lose a jaw-dropping 130 pounds. Soon, his amazing transformation would evoke a response from a very unlikely individual. With pictures of his shredded physique posted on social media, Anthony soon became something of a ladies' man. "I went from having 3 matches on Tinder to now having over 1,000 matches with girls. It's crazy," Anthony shared. But little did he know that one of his admirers was a blast from his troubled past. Out of nowhere, Anthony received a text message from the high school crush who pranked him so horribly. Now impressed by his athletic build, the woman apologized for mistreating Anthony and even asked if she could take him on a date to make up for it. "I couldn't believe it and didn't even reply," he revealed. "I'll forgive, but I would never forget." Now that Anthony has achieved his goals, he hopes to help others who are struggling with similar challenges. Today, Anthony runs his own personal training business called Transform Your Future. "I've gone through a lot, but my experiences have made me the man I am today," Anthony shared. Please share this with your friends and family.